Today I'm going to be doing a grand campaign as the Signoria of Milan in Europa Universalis 5. Our goals for this grand campaign will be to conquer the entire region of Italy and only the entire region of Italy, and focus on playing tall, and of course to form the nation of Italy. Milan is so far one of my favorite countries in Europa Universalis 5. It is a fairly easy and beginner-friendly nation too, so you at home watching can check it out as well. And of course, we do start off as one of the richest and most powerful countries in northern Italy at the start of the game, with Verona being our only main rival, and we will continue to be one of the richest and most powerful countries in Europe for the next 100 plus years because of how fast institutions spread around our country, because of our ability to project control and extract every little ducat out of every little piece of land that we own. So, without further ado, let's jump into our first grand campaign in Europa Universalis 5 as the Signoria of Milan. Alright, here we are as Milan, ladies and gentlemen. Like I just said in the intro, one of my favorite countries so far in EU5. We got lots of cool things going for us. More than 35 unique events just for Milan, about 15 unique advances, government reforms, regiments and stuff like that. And there are very cool things we can do as Milan. So yeah, the goal for this grand campaign, man, like I said in the intro, is to conquer the entirety of Italy and only Italy. We are still going to be playing tall right here, really developing our provinces, building up cities, spreading control everywhere, making lots of money, and it's gonna be super fun. I think with that style of gameplay, it's gonna take around 200 years to achieve all of that, so this most likely is gonna be a three-parter. But as Milan, man, we do start off with the dynastic Signoria Tier 1 government reform. It gives us all of these things right here. We are gonna be granting more privileges to our estates. We're gonna be changing quite a few laws right at the start to gain even more government slots. Tech and research is so fast. We'll get all the institutions super quick, and look at all of these weak neighbors that are ripe for the taking. Okay, let me do the setup. So even though this isn't a guide, I will try and explain more things that I'm doing right here, so maybe you can take some tips and tricks into your game as well. We're gonna go for the sortition additional government reform right here for plus 5% tax efficiency, which is actually pretty huge. And then we're also going to go ahead and take diplomatic traditions right here, because we are going to be playing pretty heavily with subjects in order to expand in the most efficient manner. Then we're going to do regulated export with precious metals right here, man. There aren't that many, gold or silver provinces in Italy. In fact, the only one I think there is this gold mine up here in the Alps, which we are, we do own right at the start, which is very nice. And as Milan, we also start off with a lot of unintegrated provinces, which I guess Milan just conquered, kinda, since a lot of these are already, a Lombard and Catholic. They will be fairly easy to integrate, but I am still gonna release 2 subjects right off the bat in order to make, that whole thing quicker. First, we're gonna do Novara right here. We're just gonna pop them out as a vassal, and we do want a Visconti in charge so we can get more crown power. That is our our sort of dynasty, even though we're a republic. And then I'm also going to go ahead and release another subject down here in the province of, what is this one? Let's see. It is Piacenza. There we go, another vassal in Piacenza. And we're going to put another Visconti if we have them in charge. Let's just do Matteo right there. Okay, like this, we don't have to spend government slots on integrating those, and we'll be able to extract a little bit more money, and then, as soon as 10 years pass, we will annex them, and they'll, insta be our cores. As far as research goes, I think we already have some unique, 2 unique Milanese things right here going for us. Plus 1 Diplo capacity from Lombard heritage, and plus 10% infantry combat ability really from Condottieri tradition. And there's lots of other cool things we can do in the Age of Renaissance. But for now, we're actually going to go ahead and research institution growth immediately right here to be prepped for when it spawns, for when the new institutions spawn in just 5 years. We also want to do literacy for burghers, because that's going to help. Monthly diplomats, diplomatic capacity, and then, we can just do pretty much everything else right here, which we're all going to wrap up before we unlock any of these. And then with our cabinet right here, I'm immediately gonna go ahead and start, integrating the provinces that we don't have integrated. Let's do Monza first because it's 75%, and then we can do Cremona as well because Cremona is a city at the start, so we do want to really get it in as fast as possible. Obviously, putting Viscontis in charge everywhere because that is really gonna help with our crown power, which is super important at the start. And speaking of crown power, let's reduce it a bit because we do want to give out privileges. Let's do embellish great works of faith for the clergy for progress towards centralization. And religious diplomats. For the burghers, we have something very powerful, Milanese cloth guilds right here, which give us these bonuses and progress towards capital economy, which is awesome. This is a unique one. And we're also gonna do what you call it, land of commerce right here, and another very important one, treasury rights for plus 10% tax efficiency. Actually nutty. This, of course, does make our nobles really mad that we're granting so many things to other estates, but we'll get them in line soon. And that's pretty much that setup done right there. There are some laws that we want to change, but more on that later. Let's go ahead and set some rivals. I'm going to rival Verona because that's really who we're going to be beefing with for, the first part of this grand campaign. Oh, Brescia instantly popped out of Verona. That's good for us. All right, now that a month has ticked over, we've min-maxed up to not getting inflation. We can automate the taxation of these guys. We can actually increase cost of court a little bit. Turn this down, turn this down, turn this down. And we definitely want to reduce diplomatic spending almost all the way. Increase spending on stability just a little bit. And I am going to look to link up with the Pope here if possible. There we go, here's an event that concerns us right at the start. Either we must concentrate around our central, power right here, or we can reach out to the nobles for help. We, of course, will concentrate towards Milan because we want to steer heavy towards centralization. And of course, this lets us know about the Guelphs and the Ghibelline situation right here, where we can choose to side with someone. Obviously, these guys, the gray guys side with the Pope. These guys up here side with the Holy Roman Emperor. What we want to do is side with the Pope. Basically, whoever gets to 100 faster, that side wins. We want all of these guys to leave the HRE. And additionally, we can also wage wars easier versus guys that are in the other faction. So even though we do start off in the Holy Roman Emperor faction, we are going to side with the Pope. Another Visconti event for noble stuff, stability, the Republican tradition, excellent. Another event we get right at the start is, a CB on Verona, and even though we get this super early, Verona isn't our primary focus. Our primary focus actually in the early game right here is going to be expand into Pavia right here, because this province right here, location, is one we desperately want, and then of course we want to beeline down to Genoa in order to take over the market capital of Genoa, so we have better trade stuff going on instead of creating our own market. And there we go, via event, we're actually in a war with Verona. I actually didn't know this would happen because it hasn't happened to me in previous playthroughs, but I guess on one side it's us and a lot of these guys, and on the other side it's Verona and their supporters. This is related to the whole Della Scala League thing, so this is who we're fighting. I mean, it's good that we're going to do a war this early. We'll see what we actually take, because I always do a war with Pavia first, but hey, a free war is a free war. And of course I'm gonna take it. The reason you don't really want to fight Verona right at the start is because they're actually quite annoying to fight, man. They got a couple of forts, sometimes more or less. Sometimes Brescia doesn't pop out. Once again, that's something that's also never happened to me. So, yeah, let's see what we can do here with these guys. By the way, all the other guys that we're fighting, so for example, Padua, Parma, and Lucca, they are subjects of Verona. Now, since we're already spying on Pavia right here to get a CB force into our faction, which, we don't really want to force them into our faction. We can still conquer him with it. We are going to use the parliament on something else, and that is to pass some law changes. And the first law I want to change is the legal code law right here. We start off with civil law, which gives us this. However, if we swap to Consiglio Maggiore right here for some nobles' powers and peasants being sad, we unlocked a third cabinet seat, which is actually quite OP this early in the game. So we're going to ask for law changes. There it is, legal code. Consiglio Maggiore. Okay, that's the first thing we want to use it on. Of course, while we're playing, we're getting a ton of these art-related events for Milan, which we always want to do, you know, the more artsy one, don't we? Now, something else we want to do right here is actually increase the size of our dynasty so we have more of these guys doing things. The Visconti dynasty is fairly large already, and there's our Signore, there's his wife, right? But she has kids from someone else. Who's the heir then, I wonder? Because we do want to do marriages to all of these guys. Yeah, they're in different places too. Wow, this is a fairly interesting dynasty. We're present in a lot of different places. So this is the heir, Luca Visconti, heir to Milan and Piacenza. Yeah. Like the Cathedral of Milan, for example. Hell yeah, we want to gain that masterpiece. Okay, Parliament failed, but that's the only because of the other things they wanted me to do were super bad for us. But at least we did manage to start passing a law change. All right, we whooped Verona's ass right here, so what I'm going to do is take Parma for myself. Normally, like I said, I wouldn't fight these guys early. We want to take out Pavia first, but let's do that. Let's humiliate them. Let's go ahead and get war reps. Let's take all of their money. And I guess a war that we didn't intend to do right at the start is done. We've beaten up Verona already once. Trent has expanded into Piacenza right here, so that's not a problem. But yeah, aggressive expansion, really not bad at all. Let's just create a CB on Pavia and go in on them. Very important first war, and we do want to start bordering Genoa and their boys here. As we can see, monthly progress is based on the tax base of all of the members, so the bigger we are, and the smaller these other guys are, the faster we can get these guys to 100% and leave the HRE. Of course, that's going to be pretty easy for us since we're just going to, well, annex a lot of these guys that are in the Ghibellines. And there we go. Consiglio Maggiore has passed. Third cabinet slot unlocked. Easy, man. Easy. The only better thing for us would be if we could swap out of Signoria into a merchant republic, but we can't, so it's okay. Yeah, slightly lowish republic power right now. We do want to swap traditional distribution to favor the ruler as well. We'll do it next parliament, but for now, let's continue integrating. Not a lot left to go. These two will be actually very quick. And of course, we do have Viscontis doing all of that. Now, can we get a standing army going? City Guard, huh? How much does the City Guard cost? 34. Monthly manpower, can recruit regiments. Yeah, we at least want to get 100 up so we can put our ruler in charge of the army, or a Visconti. Now, for our generic research tree in the Age of Renaissance, I'm actually going to go with the Diplo focus. Okay, so Pavia has allied itself with Brescia and Mantua, which makes this war slightly annoying. That means we got 2 forts to siege, so I'll get to it pretty soon. Just want to improve relations with the neighbors a little bit more, so we'll declare in like a year. And now all institutions have spawned, the Renaissance in my subject Parma, which is very nice, banking right here in Genoa, and professional armies over in Paris. We'll get spread of these super quick, we'll be embracing them for super quick and super cheap, so yeah, man, institutions, I gotta say, it's the loveliest when you play in Italy, because they just spawn here. Well, at least, you know, 2 out of the 3 first ones. Oh, and there we go, look, we can already embrace the Renaissance, dude. But yeah, keep in mind that this is expensive for Italy, by the way. 35 stab? No way I'm spending that when it's right here, right? We'll wait a little bit, we're still researching old stuff too, right? But either way, let's go ahead and declare on, you know, on Pavia here. We'll just white piece Brescia and stuff like that, so it shouldn't be too difficult. We're gonna use the force into our faction CB, but we're really gonna full annex these guys. And actually, our ruler is a pretty good general, man. Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. While we're in this war, we're gonna ask for some more law changes. What I want to change here is the distribution of power to favor the ruler. We have the other thing right now, but this, of course, gives us 20% crown power and even more tax, which is absolutely nutty. All right, that's enough. They'll accept just full annexing Pavia and taking all of their money. Okay, that's our initial war, well, and another one out of the way. So now we can focus a little bit on internal management, consolidating. The Black Death is about to come around, and of course, ideally, we'd want to continue towards Genoa right here, but we'll see if there's some other small guys we can pick off first. Alliance with the Pope secured. I've linked up with the Pope and, and Ferrara right here, just, you know, just in case. It's crazy how urbanized, especially northern Italy is right at the start of the game, man. Probably the highest concentration of cities anywhere. Like with any other country, you're running like 1 or 2 cities for so long. But as Milan, we already got 3. our subjects got a fourth one. We'll conquer this one, this one, this one, this one, everything over here. It's so nice. And there we go. The Black Death has spawned. It is gonna hit us relatively hard. We are gonna go down to about 500,000 people as we, as we currently are. But we're gonna start procuring remedies right away for more stab and Republican tradition. Not that remedies do anything. Oh, do we have money for a hospital? Actually, that would be really good to put down. There's already one in Milan. I'm gonna build another one in Cremona. Passed the law, so now at 30% Republic power, which is awesome. It gives us all of these lovely bonuses. Another awesome thing about playing in Italy, man, is it's just so easy to accept every single culture that's Italian, and it doesn't take up any culture capacity, right? So pretty much everything we conquer here is gonna be cores. The only thing we really want to change up is convert a little bit of the what you call it, like the Alpine and Provençal and a little bit of the high Alemannic culture right here. But aside from that, everything else we're gonna be accepting, man. All right, everything has been integrated or is being integrated. Annexing Novara right now as well. Let's do a little bit of recovery effort and then centralize. It's really easy to get high control as Milan everywhere, especially when we start building the relevant buildings and roads, which is going to be, well, during and right after the Black Death. Oh, it's already in Genoa. I don't like that. All right, there it is. It's present in our provinces. What we want to do is move court into hiding. And then we're gonna present scapegoats for stab as well. It would be nice to isolate the cities, but we just need, I think, Burger's loyalty. Oh, we need it for it to spread, but it costs so much stability, man. And none of these are really that useful anyway. So yeah, let's lose 400,000 people. Then again, everyone is gonna lose them, so... Now, something that the patricians start with, or they get it, I keep forgetting, is Visconti city-states right here, which, as you can see, it's bad. It makes them so powerful, minus 5% mag control, or we progress to decentralization. However, it's not a bad thing at all when we get it, because you can either choose to become a monarchy, which we don't actually want to do as Milan, or we can just revoke those, we gain control, and we steer towards centralization. So, this is bad only like the first 10-15 years, and then we're chilling. Listen, we like the Viscontis, we want them to be powerful, but we don't want them to be that powerful. Oh, I forgot, let's join a foreign order of chivalry. That's actually dope for us. Alright, another parliament. There's only one more law I want to change right here. Oh, these are going to be tough to pass. Let's do sponsor the noble arts. The only other law we want to change is... these are tricky to pass, especially for the nobles. Okay, let's do this one. This one too. Okay, we're 50% law changes. What I want to do is Foundation of Republic. I actually want to swap to authoritarianism. Something I was waiting for Pavia. So let's just see what this is first. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. That's what we want to do. We want to build the Visconti Palace in Pavia. Obviously, this is sort of the seat of the Visconti house. Even though it'll take us into loans, we do want to do it. All right, the Black Death has zoomed past us. It might come back still, but yeah. So Bohemia has become the Holy Roman Emperor instead of Upper Bavaria, so that's boosted the progress of the Emperor loyalists a little bit, which isn't good for us, but that's okay. And the Black Death has ended just as I got my CB on Genoa. Now, I initially wanted to clean up some of these minor guys right here, but they're having problems amongst themselves. Genoa is only allied to Mantua, and they got their subject Gazaria over here, so not a big deal. Let's go ahead and declare on them. We can reach it through our subject right here, so yeah, let's go ahead and take over the market of Genoa and really boost up our trade income. So there's declare the war. None of my boys will come in, but that's okay. Force into faction. Yeah, we just need a diplomat. Okay, let's go. Just annex Novara too. Okay, there's our war with Genoa done. What I think I'm gonna take for now is this right here. I mean, we will be disconnected. Who is this? Finale, right? They're not allied to anyone. You know what? I am gonna take this. It is a little bit of high aggressive expansion, but we'll take them down on the island later. I'll take war reps and all of their money too. And that's our war with Genoa done, and we have become the controller of what you call it, of the Genoa market. Got some naval stuff we can do right here. I'm actually gonna go for shipbuilding speed, and of course we're anti-piracy. Now we can do something over here which is very interesting. We can either take this option right here, Lombardy as ours, where we move our capital to Pavia and we gain access to integrate Lombard claims unique cabinet action for 30 years. This one is deceptively good. It's actually not that good. And of course, you know, we can integrate areas in Italy faster, but it's only for 30 years. Gain 5 dev. We gain new capital. We're actually not going to do that. We're going to keep our capital in Milan, move towards centralization and increase prosperity. We're also going to allow slave religion. Why do we have... Do we have them? Right? No, we don't. Now, because we're banging on crown power, it was like 36%. I can finally swap out the weak with Viscontis into powerful non-Viscontis and help speed up what we're doing. We need to start building boats, though. Yep. All right, now that I've actually researched a lot of the things that I want to from these other things, like integrating subjects for cheaper and stuff like that, I think it is time to embrace the Renaissance right here, because Renaissance is the first thing we want to get. It gives us another government reform, another cabinet seat, 10% crown power and stuff like that. So we got some very, very cool things, along with skill of new artists, which actually it's very important for Milan. It is going to take us under 0 stability if we do it, but... we should be able to, you know, do it relatively soon. As you can see, banking and professional armies are dirt cheap, man. Renaissance is just the slowest to spread for some reason. But yeah, I am going to take it. We should get above, above, you know, stability pretty soon here. Okay, let's start researching, which one was it? There we go. That, government reforms, cabinet seats, crown power. All right, we've unlocked another government reform. None of these are really that awesome. I'm just gonna go with agricultural cultivation. Maritime presence over in, you know, the Genoese Gulf slowly increasing. Sooner or later, we're gonna overtake Genoa over there. Just chilling right now, building up some spy networks. We're gonna get into wars very soon. Obviously, we can also embrace banking and professional armies. We're chilling, no big deal on that. Still researching Renaissance stuff. The schism in the Catholic Church has started. What we can do is just, you know, keep asking France for stuff. It's pretty nice. Yeah, man, this isn't looking too good for us. You know, with Bohemia becoming emperor, we've kind of become shafted right here. These guys are getting a lot of progress straight up just from Bohemia. Even if we blob out hard, the progress is still going to be on their side, which, I mean, it's just luck at this point. Nice, 4th cabinet slot unlocked. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, so it's time to get back into some conquest. What I've done is fabricated a CB on Pisa with the parliament, and I'm already, you know, making one on Montferrat right here, who's actually a subject of Chieri right here. So by fighting Pisa, I'm gonna take this province and, you know, their subject to Malaspina right here, and I'm gonna make Mantua break the alliance with Chieri so that then I can fight them and Montferrat. So, let's go. Okay, peaced out, Mantua, and we're taking this. This is pretty much all I want for now. Could we go for more? Of course, but let's not. There we go. So nice. We've expanded over here a little bit. Got fully connected to our land down here. Pretty soon we're gonna fight Montferrat and their overlord Chieri. Currently, we're also working on building up some roads so we can, you know, increase control in our lands. Time to make a saint. We got some bishops. We got. I mean, let's sanctify our first, well, actually, we get more from these other guys, don't we? Right? Yeah, so some bishop here. I mean, he was part of our crown as well in the past, I guess. Well, not of ours. Or was he? I don't know. But that's what we get. All right, so now pretty much a lot of the guys we want to fight are actually a part of our faction, so we are going to have to wait for, you know, cabinet to create a CB on them, you know, parliament, sorry. But yeah, right now just researching a lot of professional army stuff so we can actually raise up a standing army and get some cannons in, right? New. Oh, nice. Well, I just built up a claim using the parliament on Chieri right here, but we can gain claims on Alessandria and Tortona. But we do gain some antagonism right here. But what are those? That's these guys and these guys. Alessandria. Only Lausanne comes in. I mean, this is a nice and quick one. Okay, let's do these guys and then we'll do Chieri. I swear, I don't know where all of these tiny-ass guys keep coming from, dude. Oh, so why does this cost stability? Yeah, what? Does it cost if I declare on these guys? No, it doesn't. So frick it, I'm going in on this one. There we go. Lots of people coming in, but frick it. So somehow, 58,000 people have ended up coming in. I don't get it. Okay, this is not as big of a war as I intended to do. But we'll be alright. I mean, we still got way more levies than them, right? So, yeah. How did, like, Verona end up coming in? Verona has obviously annexed Florence right here, you know, for a while now. As you can see, Lucca seems to be their subject. And Tyrol is no pushover either, so It is gonna be pretty annoying to piece these guys out, but yeah, we can do it. I also plan on full annexing like these small guys, Tortona right here. That's why I'm actually gunning for them first. Then we just go on white pieces on everyone else, get back to Kiri. All right, there's a full annex, or wait. Yeah, that's not that much, is it? No, it's not. Okay, there's a full annex on those guys. Okay, armory has been unlocked. I think we start putting it down even during this war. Just get a little bit of a professional army up. Milan, Pavia, Cremona for sure. Okay, we are getting quite a lot more aggressive expansion than I thought we would. We are actually gonna get coalition because of this, so we can't take as much as I wanted. I'm just gonna go for this for now. So there we go. Everyone is gonna be super mad right now, but let's just improve relations with everyone until they become blue. I guess we can take this little bit of time to, you know, work on the internal development and increase control even further, especially to down here. You know, it's kind of tricky getting past some of these hills and stuff like that, but it's okay. I really thought we could take more. Damn, this is actually a slightly slower expansion than I normally do as Milan. We should definitely accept some more cultures here, like Ligurian and Piedmontese. Yeah, there we go. People will be happy and we'll gain cores. Okay, Piacenza has been annexed. All right, got done with the initial stuff that I wanted from professional armies, which means we can build a howitzer right there. Now we're on to banking a little bit so we can mint more. Counting house right here, which gives us local crown power, more trade range, maritime presence, the entry pot right here, which is very nice for the market center, and of course the Pound Lock Canal, which helps with proximity. There we go. So this is actually quite early, man, but of course it's because of Bohemia being emperor. Every country with their capital in the region of Italy, but not in Lazio, Campania, and Principato Apulia. Basically, everyone in North Italy joins the Holy Roman Empire and adds every location to it. So there we go. That's the end of the Guelphs and the Ghibellines, and we are all now officially a part of the Holy Roman Empire. Obviously, we're gonna have to stay in until we wrap all of this up. Sure, we do gain some slight bonuses for still being in the HRE, but of course, aggressive expansion is higher. Yeah, this is actually the first time I've not exited the HRE yet as Milan. Obviously, there's lots of cool things we can do if we exit it, man. We can immediately pretty much upgrade into a duchy and then into a kingdom as soon as we grow a little bit more. But yeah, unfortunate, kinda. But it is what it is. Okay, with that done and aggressive expansion being chill, and by the way, during this peacetime, I've just been building up some roads, building bridges as well, expanding mines a little bit. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and declare on Brescia, who has these allies right here. Damn, man, everyone's got a lot of allies. This is actually a lot of forts. Aquileia, Kiri. Okay, these guys don't have forts. Siena's got two for a fort. But yeah, we're still going in. Okay, Parliament approved claims. Let's go ahead and declare Brescia is a very nice province, tax base of around 76. So once we get them in, that is actually gonna really increase our income. All right, what we're gonna do with Brescia right here is actually make them a vassal directly, because like this is how much aggressive expansion we get, and instead, if we full annex them, it's actually nutty. Yeah, it would be less if we weren't in the HRE, but it is what it is. Let's piece them out and take all of their money. Nice. It's gonna take a little work to get them loyal, but once we annex them, whew, putting down a Republican Assembly in Milan, which is a very nice building, man. You don't know. You know, some of the countries start off with things like this, others don't, but it's very nice. I should have done this like way earlier, man. Yeah, that's on me. Should have done that way earlier. But yeah, continuing along with bridges, man, for movement and proximity cost. You pretty much want to put these down everywhere. Control is finally starting to look nicer, man. These are like hills and forest provinces and stuff like that, so it's harder to project into them. Obviously, this we have control from maritime and over here from our capital, but soon they're gonna merge. Obviously, I don't have a lot of roads to down here, I don't think. Yeah, just from Genoa to here. We probably want to connect Novi and Genoa, actually, like this. Yeah, look at already how much Brescia is paying us, man. It's like such a rich province. It's nutty. Yeah, do they have a city, I wonder? Yeah, they do. Now, I'm noticing someone formed the other Burgundy here, right? See, I never really thought about how this works in EU4, but okay, in EU5, sorry, but here's the Duchy of Burgundy, who is not in the HRE, who is like under France. And then here's the Kingdom of Burgundy, which is in the HRE. Yeah, the two Burgundies. This was reformed, I think, by Savoy, man, or I don't know what happened there, but they've actually pushed quite far into Italy. They do have some provinces or locations we desire here, and I think these guys are their subject too. Either way, aggressive expansion isn't really that bad, man. A lot of these people like us, so I think what I'm gonna do is call a parliament here, and I think we go in on Chieri right here, depending on how... Ooh, hold up. Are they allied? Let's see, are they allied? They are allied. In that case, yeah, I'll declare on Como, which we actually only want 2 locations from them, these 2, because like I said at the start, we're only conquering Italy itself, nothing else, and I can make Chieri break the alliance with Burgundy. And that's what we're gonna do. Cool. Parma has been annexed, and all of that is insta-cord. This is the only thing we're integrating right now. All right, built up the army a little more, finally up to 1,000 people, which is really where they start making a difference in battles and stuff like that. Before this, it was all just to have this guy in charge of the army, so we can get more Republic power. The more Republic power we got, the gooder all of these stats right here are, right? So let's declare on Como, and yeah, do the alliance breaking with Chieri right there. We lose stab. I don't get it, bro. With good relations, but you can never, you know, have bad relations. Even if you send a scornful insult or a regular insult, you'll see it's still the same. Or not. I guess they were bad enough to where I could get rid of that stab hit. Finally, an actual easy war in Italy, man. Everyone we fought since the start has had forts. Jesus Christ. But since we're being border freaks right here, what we're gonna do is literally just take this location and that location, because these aren't in Italy, they're in southern Germany. So that's all I want from Como right here. Yes, I could, of course, make them a vassal in the rest of them, but let's not do that. Let's get war reps, get all of their money, and that's done. Okay, this will be super fast to integrate since it's already Lombard culture. Didn't even raise the levies on this one, so we can go back home and chill. Aggressive expansion, not bad at all. Really, Mantua's still the only one that's salty, and they're gonna be annexed pretty soon. They just don't know it. Ooh, finally the Pound Lock Canal. This is basically yeah, another, you know, local proximity thingy which we want to build up. It's in a similar scope of the bridges. Yeah, I guess these are like built primarily in urban locations on rivers, right? But they're very nice. So I've been waiting to show it off, but I never have so far. Radical Reform is probably one of the most beloved events in EU4. When you get an inflation reduction and a trade efficiency guy, you can fire them both for 200 admin and diplo points. But this event actually kind of sucks in EU5 because either you lose 20 stability for 10 prestige, or you gain 7 stability for -10 Republican tradition or legitimacy. So yeah, I don't really like this event in EU5. Why couldn't they just make it good again? But yeah, man, now that we've established more control over Genoa right here, our you know, our income is really starting to ramp up. We're, you know, making quite a lot of money from trade as well, nicely taxing, minting a little bit more because I did expand the gold over here in the Domos do Sola province or whatever it's called. So we're looking pretty good on income right now. Now we're just going to continue scaling, you know, building up all of those control buildings and then, you know, actually building up buildings that produce stuff to make us money. But yeah, right now still focusing on control and proximity buildings, which we've actually built all of them. Interesting. I was not aware. I was not aware. All right, and in that case, counting house as it is. Got some more cultures capacity, which 2 is kind of crazy for being in Italy. Like, all of the relevant cultures are already accepted. All right, well, we got claims on Chieri. Let's go. I can't get off the mountains. It's winter. Help. Man, what is it with this? Like, I don't get any pop-ups that these guys join. That's so weird. That's so weird. I'm fighting Verona somehow again, which they've just made my life a little bit more annoying, but yeah, I don't get any pop-ups that these guys join in any way. I know what they're doing though. They're joining wars of rivals, right? Whenever a rival of yours is in a war, you can end up joining on the other side to fight them. Verona obviously is my rival, right? No, it's not. Am I their rival? Where the hell am I? Yeah, I don't know how they managed to enter, man. I don't know how they managed to enter. At least a pop-up would be nice. God damn. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they'll already accept. This is actually quite high aggressive expansion, but luckily, you know, Chieri isn't there. Mondovi, Mantua, and Bardi, of course, are, but Bardi is just a bank. So there's a peace out on these guys, and that's that war done. Verona literally didn't change anything with coming in. What I'm actually going to do right here is release nations once again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create Saluzzo. There we go, just like that. They're gonna be a vassal. Let's put Visconti in charge if we got them. There we go. We're gonna put Luciano in, even though he's a general, maybe not. Yeah, Caterina, we're gonna put her in charge. So there we go, Saluzzo. Later, we're gonna feed this other Saluzzo location. And I'm also gonna go ahead and release Torino. Yeah, there we go. Thankfully, I clicked correctly on that. So let's release Torino. There it is, vassal. There's another Visconti in charge, and of course later we'll feed Torino the rest of the locations in Torino, whereas I'll keep like Mondovia and whatever else I conquered for myself. Yo! What the hell did Ferrara do? Oh my god, I've never seen someone eat the Pope, dude. Honestly, I've never seen someone eat the Pope this hard, at least. You know, Naples sometimes gets into squabbles with them, but Jesus, that's a strong Ferrara. Wow, let's canonize this dude. Oh, damn. Fighting Burgundy is actually going to be tricky. They got mega allies. Yeah, and I really haven't been focusing on alliances at all. Not that we need them or don't need them. I mean, we can ally quite a few people. Let's actually link back up with what you call it, with Ferrara. Ferrara would join me versus Mantua. Quite a rich, you know, country, if I do say so myself. We can get a lot of stuff from them if we hit them with Ferrara's help. Probably vassalize them. It would probably be a lot of aggressive expansion to keep them chill. It's Venice. Venice is like super weak in EU5. Siena, easy peace out. Mondovi, Bardia is just a bank. We don't actually have to do anything with them. We can take down this little Mondovi as well. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think we're gonna pound Mantua. Yeah, Mantua is like so rich, dude. Look at the tax base in these provinces. It's actually crazy. I'm also getting barks up right now, which are, you know, the light ships. They're way better at doing maritime presence, man. It's actually 0.14 right here, I guess, per ship. And the galleys, it's 0.08. So almost twice as good as the galleys. Even though maritime presence isn't a problem, we're like the biggest guy over here, so control is good and everything like that. But they're still better for doing that than galleys. All right, actually built up cannons. Let's go ahead and hit Mantua. There we go. Gonna drag in Ferrara as well. I think I'm gonna eat up a Mondovi too. Well, Mondovia's done. I just love these no fort wars, man. Brescia has been annexed. Obviously, all of that is insta-cord for us. I think I got a little too many forts here. If I'm being honest, a little too many ports. Unlock bureaucracy. We're going centralized bureaucracy. You can see why. And Mantua will already accept becoming our vassal. Yeah, once again, not that bad. Perfect. We'll take their money too. And that's another war done. Okay, we're definitely moving up in the world, man. I gotta say, we're the most powerful country in northern Italy. Of course, we can crush Verona at any time, and we will continue to do so because, you know, they're one of our next targets. Really, the only guys we have to fight right here is this Burgundy, who's got a really good alliance network, and then this Provence as well, which same, right? We just need this province from Provence, then a couple of these from Burgundy, and then up here from Burgundy as well, if we take a look at that map. So we are going to have to lay off of these guys for a bit. Not that we can't do these wars. Obviously, in EU5, it's easy to just go in for a few provinces, but I'd rather deal with some easier guys. And yeah, I think we really need to get into it with Verona. For education of the elites, I'm actually going to go education of the court here, mainly for cabinet efficiency. All right, so a little bit of time has passed. At this point, antagonism is pretty low, and we can call another parliament. I think it is time to finally actually face our biggest rival in northern Italy, Verona, by going in and hitting them. In the meantime, I have researched some laws. So first, we got the Republican electorate law right here. I think what we're gonna go with right here, man, is a dynastic rule for even more diplorep. Diplorep helps a lot with coalitions in EU5, so let's go ahead and you know, try and pass that law. And over here, man, for the rights of the nobles, this is a very tricky one. We definitely don't want to block the crown from the cabinet, but I think we could block the nobles from cabinet. I mean, this is sort of the middle ground, right? They gain a little bit more power, cheaper forts and stuff like that. And I guess we are going to be doing kind of a defense of Italy. So these are both good, but I've never actually blocked these guys from the cabinet. Let's do that. Alrighty, forts are up. Let's go ahead and declare on Verona. Ferrara will help here, and we can also make Provence and their million alliances. Let's go. These are very wealthy provinces that Verona owns right here, and we definitely want to nab, well, at least Verona itself. Alright, this war took a while, man. Lots of forts, obviously, but we're definitely taking the province of Verona. Let's see. I'm actually interested in this. Okay, I can't make them a vassal. I don't think, yeah, they're too big. Okay, so we're definitely taking Verona, which is actually what we declared for, and their capital. It is quite a lot of aggressive expansion. Let's see if we can do Vicenza or Padua right here. So this is actually doable. Okay, what about, wait, let me see that once again. So the top guy, 85, and bottom guy, 55. Okay, let's try this. Top guy, 91, 53. Yeah, this is more valuable. It's... I actually am gonna take Vicenza as well, man. I do want to weaken these guys quite a lot. Let's go ahead and get war reps as well. Take all of their money, and that's our war with Verona done. Okay, so this culture right here is Venetian, which we... well, as soon as it refreshes, we should be able to accept. We definitely got space. It is Catholic. We should be able to integrate them quickly. I got the two guys right here. Yeah, I'm actually not gonna release vassals here. Okay, we're helping Ferrara in their burger revolt right here, but this war is pretty much done. And the Catholic Church is united again. There's the end of the schism. Now, Burgundy, this Burgundy, the other one, is being attacked by France, which is not something I really like that much. I don't think they'll be able to push all the way into Italy, but, you know, there's always that worry. Yep. These are the provinces that they've got that are in Italy right here. Alright, this is good. Burgundy has actually severely been weakened, and they pretty much don't have any allies except for Metz right here. So we can definitely go in hard against them next war and take most of what they have. Torino right here, very nice province that we want to nab. You know, like I said, we'll feed stuff to Saluzzo and Torino, our subjects, and then I'll take the rest that isn't, you know, in those provinces. So I'll take the Aosta Valley right here and the rest of these two. We are going to have to do some culture conversion over here because we're not going to be accepting Arpidian culture, but that's okay. Everything else we're good on. And speaking of culture, let's tolerate Venetian. And if we accept it, yeah, we're good. Let's accept Venetian. Perfect. So yeah, everything we have so far is our core, man. As soon as we're done integrating this, it will be our core. All right, well, we got a CB on Burgundy. Oh my God, these guys are involved in everything. We're calling in Ferrara. We're taking everything that they have in the region of Italy. Yeah, let's go. I'm glad we got rid of those alliances, and I'm glad France actually smashed them this much. But taking a look at the rest of Europe, man, Austria seems to be blobbing out over here. Bohemia is actually freaking huge. Netherlands, they appear every game at this point. Yeah, nice Ottomans, and actually a very strong Naples too. Wait, has Serbia expanded into Hungary, or is it the other way around? Whatever. Okay, Burgundy will already accept. Once again, it is quite a lot of aggressive expansion with certain nations, but I think we should still be good. I would have immediately transferred it to Torino, but I literally forgot where the transfer occupation button is, dude. Yeah, I thought it was here. I swear it used to be there. It's not there, whatever. They'll accept this peace deal, and just like that, we're done. And we've almost locked down this portion of Italy because the only thing that's left to do right here is fight these tiny little guys of Seva or something who are only allied to the Bank of Bardi, and then to only take the location of Cuneo here from Provence, but everything else we're absolutely freaking spot on with. So I'm gonna go ahead and give these 3 locations over to Torino. It's gonna be super quick for them to integrate it. I'm gonna integrate Aosta and the rest of these stuff right here, and I think that is decent for 1413. We can upgrade our cav, I think. That's what we're doing. Yeah, to heavy cavalryman. Nice. Ah, man, this us staying in the HRE thing really put a slight damper on the campaign, because by now, dude, we could have totally upgraded to duchy. Yeah, just if we had prestige. Yeah, this obviously goes away. And then to kingdom, I think, yeah, if we had 50 prestige, also to a kingdom. And these things do help out quite a lot. I mean, you can see the bonuses that we get if we hover over here, like lots of cool things. For kingdom, it's even better, you know, more diplo range, more diplomats and stuff like that, more great power score. Obviously, being a great power will help us in the later ages, you know, with the hegemons. But now I can't leave the HRE until we eat up all of the Italians. Well, at least everyone that we need to fight here, yeah. We can upgrade this to men-at-arms as well, which is very nice. And here is a very interesting event. We got Francesco Sforza. If anyone knows anything about Milan, you will be familiar with him. An absolutely insanely skilled, you know, character that we can add to our court. And even though there are cool things you can do with Sforza and stuff like that, we generally avoid him in EU4. I think we're gonna avoid him in EU5 as well. He does move to Verona like this, so we'll see if he tries to pull anything there. But this is a Visconti playthrough. This is a Visconti playthrough. Oh man, I'm filling up with money. Like 4 guys have asked me to buy mill access. Nice. We've finally unlocked the recruitment law. We can't go with these for now, obviously, because it's too early to lean too heavily into the standing armies. But I think I'm just gonna go with expanded levies here, man. I know it's peasant size 0.2, but actually no, I'm gonna go with regulated naval service burghers levy, but then again, burghers are mostly naval. I definitely want to go with these two. Let's just go with this. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is a pretty good place to leave it off for episode 1 of our Milan into Italy Grand Campaign over here. This is pretty much typical for this typical start for a Milan playthrough, man. You just consolidate sort of the northwest of Italy before moving into the northeast and central Italy. Obviously, expansion is very slow, especially since we're in Italy. These provinces are so rich and so developed, and because we stayed in the HRE2, if we had left the HRE, we would be bigger by now, but it just is what it is. So the start is slightly slower, obviously, in the Age of Traditions and the Renaissance, but it will ramp up slightly in the next stage and even more after that. But this is where we left off this time, man. We're making pretty good money. We got a nice standing army. We're building a lot of stuff. Control is looking good. We got some good alliances. Aggressive expansion isn't looking too bad, so we can definitely be more aggro. And we've been researching like hell. We're one of the most technologically advanced nations around, and no one can stop our army. So yeah, next time we're going to continue with, finishing off this portion of Italy right here by taking down, literally just these 2 locations. We're gonna fortify like this over here. We're gonna continue pushing into northeast Italy right here, take down Verona. Some of these other guys take down Venice, and of course we're gonna start pushing into central Italy, betray our ally Ferrara. And for next episode, man, owning like all of this right here is gonna be our goal before in the final episode facing off versus some very big boys such as the Papal State, this Naples, who's actually pretty strong, and of course our biggest rival for now that we're gonna have to fight, Aragon, who's like the Portugal, the Pope, and these guys right here. So yeah, very tricky wars later on, but of course until then we're gonna become way more powerful and way richer, because now is the time where we're really gonna start scaling up and snowballing. But everything has been pretty chill so far for this initial start. Like I said at the start of the video, man, Milan, a very beginner friendly nation in my opinion. You guys have an easy and fun time, and even though this wasn't a guide, I feel like you guys can pick up some tips and tricks, obviously, in a chill playthrough such as this, where we're not too aggro, but we're not, playing that tall. Either way, it's mostly a balanced playthrough. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, man, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. It lets me know that you want to see part 2. Subscribe, of course, so you don't miss out on part 2. And like I said earlier, man, if you want to check out EU5 for yourself, check out the link in the description or in the pinned comment, or use code TheRedHawk in all caps at checkout on Paradox's website. It might be cheaper for you to get EU5 from there rather than from Steam. But yeah, that's it for me for now. See you next time.